Hey there guys, Nixon Strike here, back again for another video and another rant. And today I'm going to talk about a topic that a lot of people my age like to discuss, and that is the old Cartoon Network versus the new Cartoon Network. Now, unlike most, I will be adding a new spin on it, and that is the comparison fair? So before we begin that, I think that we need a little backstory, because in order for this to be relevant, you guys need to know where I come from on the subject. So, I grew up watching cartoons, obviously. I mean, who didn't? I didn't have dish, cable, direct, any of that. I just had antenna, and that was it at the time. So I would go over to my grannies, I'd go over to my cousins, I'd go over to friends, whatever. I would watch it there. Always watch Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network was awesome. I watched like all the good shows on there, and I watched it when I was younger, so I don't even think Boomerang existed. But I do remember Boomerang existing at some point and no one really had it, so I just watched straight up Cartoon Network. So I watched that and I loved it every time I got to see it. And I also remember when Adult Swim was first created. I saw a little bit of that, even though, probably shouldn't have, but I saw a little bit of that. And then, and then I grew up, and about middle school I did get satellite, and it was about the time that they started airing Uncut Dragon Ball Z on Cartoon Network. If you remember that, the Ultimate Uncuts, whatever. I don't remember exactly what they called it, but whatever. So I watched that every night, and it was about the time that Cartoon Network was starting to go downhill. It wasn't quite there yet, but it was almost about time, because I think Toonami had went to the Saturday only time, which I love Toonami. I watched it all the time, and I watched the weekday thing. I think it was changed to Magoozy, and then it just disappeared. But I did watch it when it was Magoozy and whatever else it was called. But it was basically Toonami. I mean, pretty much, just without Tom. And I watched all that. I remember Yu-Gi-Oh! GX came on there, and I remember One Piece came on there, and just some other stuff. Code Lyoko, I never got into that. I know a lot of people do, but I just never liked it. So, regardless, yeah, I did that, and I watched Toonami up until it ended. Now, I didn't even know it ended at the time, but I looked it up on YouTube. I was like, whoa, Toonami ended. Whoa, whoa. And then I saw Tom give his farewell, and that was sad, and everyone was upset. We were all upset. And then, there was the bomb scandal, and this was around the time Toonami was canceled. It was because they were advertising some Adult Swim show. I think it was Aqua Teen Hunger Force or something. And there was a bomb scandal, and the current president dropped, so then they got a new president, and then Cartoon Network went to crap. Now, I'm not going to argue this. Old Cartoon Network is better than new Cartoon Network. First off, the live action shows, seriously, Cartoon Network, what were you even thinking? They still try to do that, then they always get canceled. I mean, they don't work. They just don't work. If you want to click with someone, make a cartoon. You're called Cartoon Network, not Live Action Network or whatever. So yeah, I do believe firmly that old Cartoon Network is better than new Cartoon Network, and I do watch Boomerang. Actually, on a daily basis, I do watch Boomerang. It's got a lot of really good shows on it. And a lot of people I've noticed, my age, like to make this argument, because what they used to do with Cartoon Network, I don't know if they still do it or not, but whenever they show like a movie, they'll have all of the characters in a movie theater, right? And they're all about to watch it with you, because you're like, oh, all my favorite people are here. So they did that for the old Cartoon Network, and there were like tons and tons of people on it. You guys know who it was. It was like Johnny Bravo, Samurai Jack, Ed, Edd n Eddy, all the cartoons that were out at the time. And they've made a new version of that now, and there's not that many people in it. There's like Mordecai and Rigby, there's Finn and Jake, there's the people from Gumball, I don't know their names, and then etc, it goes like that. So people like to compare and like, yeah, look at how awesome Cartoon Network was then, and look at how they are now. And here's what I have to say on that. There's actually, I don't feel that this is a fair comparison. Here's why. 2 words, people, 2 words. And if you're my age, or you watch Boomerang, you know what this is. Hanna-Barbera. Now, for those of you who don't know who Hanna-Barbera is an animation studio that began in the 1950s. It might not have been called Hanna-Barbera, but they went through name changes, whatever. So, 1950s up till the early 2000s, they were around making shows. And Cartoon Network got a lot of their good shows from Hanna-Barbera. Those include Johnny Bravo and Dexter's Laboratory, and it's like Samurai Jack and all those really, really, really good ones. I think Samurai Jack was that. don't exactly remember, but you get what I mean. There was a lot of good ones. Powerpuff Girls is another one if Samurai Jack isn't, but whatever. So yeah, there was a lot of good ones from Hanna-Barbera. Hanna-Barbera was like the stamp of a good animated show back in the day. And Scooby-Doo is another one. I mean, if you've watched any Scooby-Doo, at the end you'll see Hanna-Barbera. Just watch the credits of cartoons and you'll see who makes them. A lot of them are Hanna-Barbera. But anyway, so what happened with Hanna-Barbera is about the time that Cartoon Network got a new president, all of the founding members died and they've kind of went away. They've kind of faded. The last shows they made were like Johnny Bravo and Powerpuff Girls and stuff. That was like their last things. Now they just make Scooby-Doo movies on a yearly basis and they suck. At least in my opinion. The ones I've seen, the newer ones are bad. But the older ones are actually pretty good. I like those. But anyway, so yeah, Hanna-Barbera was a majority of the people in that picture, which is what I'm trying to say. You know, the new Cartoon Network, it sucks, okay? For the most part, it has a few good shows, and the good ones always get canceled. I mean, do I have to talk about Young Justice again? I don't think so. And, you know, now they've got, like, Beware the Batman and Teen Titans Go, which both, not good. Regular show I enjoy. Adventure Time I enjoy when I watch it. I don't watch that one very much. Amazing World of Gumball is actually pretty entertaining, but yeah, for the most part, not that many good shows. And that's what a lot of people seem to associate it with. I mean, there was just a lot that happened at the same time. New president changed, Toonami got canceled, Hanna-Barbera pretty much went away. And that's sort of what happened. I just want people to realize that it's just not a fair comparison to compare the two theater pictures, because if you look, a lot of them are Hanna-Barbera. Still though, old Cartoon Network does beat new Cartoon Network. Oh, and by the way, for those of you who did complain, Toonami is finally back, sort of. Basically, I mean, they're just on Saturday nights on Adult Swim, and I think it's cool. I don't really understand why a lot of people don't like it being back, because a lot of people complained and whatever. So yeah, a lot of people were mad about that, but I think it's kind of a cool novelty if you actually stay up that late. But I do think, and a lot of other people do think this, that if they really want to bring Toonami back, they need to bring it back to a time where people actually watch it. I mean, a lot of people watch the Saturday night Adult Swim, don't get me wrong, but they'd have a way bigger audience if they had it right after school from like 3 to 5 every Monday through Friday. That's when Toonami used to be. They need to do that, or at least bring it back a little earlier, or maybe extend the block to like a kids Toonami and adult Toonami. You know, just do stuff like that. I mean, they are trying to bring newer shows. I mean, they've got Soul Eater, One Piece, and all that stuff. So that's fine and dandy. Of course, people argue that you can watch it online, whatever. But what are you gonna do? So that's really all I had to say about Cartoon Network. Again, it's weak now, but it's still not exactly a fair thing to compare. Tell me below what your thoughts are on Cartoon Network's lifespan and how it will continue. And I'll catch you guys later.